man. It's funny because a lot of us fighters, who were in the UFC, were fighting, and we'd see these people on the Ultimate Fighter, and we're like, man, these guys, they're not that good, but they're getting hyped up, man. Everybody's talking about these guys because they see them, and we're like, they're getting good sponsors. Like, man, this bullshit, you know what I mean? But then, so I got the opportunity. I got a phone call from Joe Silva's like, hey, man, and I think Dana White called me once too. Like, we want you on the Ultimate Fighter at the comeback. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Where do I sign up? I'm going to get the exposure. I'm going to get to be in there and train for real. And yeah, that'll be great because I knew what it did for people, what it did for their career. People got to all of a sudden know them as a person, not just a guy they saw fighting. So they just called me and asked me to be part of it. And there was no tryouts or anything. They just brought me out and interviewed me, and that was it, man. It was great because they brought me out and you had like a group of other fighters you were with, and I knew a lot of those fighters. So it was just a fun time to hang out with guys. But I mean, being on the show was awesome. You got to train with some of the best guys in the world. Randy Couture is one of your coaches, George St. Pierre. It's like, man, this is a opportunity I never really had to go and just train. Didn't want to worry about anything. I was away from my wife and kids and job, and I just got to train for 6 weeks. Like that's the only thing in my life. It was a lot of fun.
How did you find being away from home for 6 weeks? Because you seem like a loving family guy, man. So I can imagine that would have been like one of that probably the hardest point for you, right?
Without a doubt. But you know what? Like, it was very tough. But me being a very goal-oriented person, my mindset was like, this is going to be the means to end for a lot of things. If I do well on here, this is going to take care of a lot of stuff for my family. So I don't mind sacrifice if there's a payout at the end of the long journey. And I knew this was going to be the path to do it. So, when I went there, I wasn't there to play around. I wasn't there to drink and have fun and party. I didn't drink at all when we were on the show, man. I was there. I was there to fight. I was there to get better. I was there to make money. That was my whole goal for my family. So with that mindset, I don't mind sacrifice if there's something at the end. But it was tough, man. I'd never been away from my kids for that long, so it was rough. But like I said, I always keep my eye on that prize, and the prize of going out there and giving my kids a better life.
Did you find like with the Ultimate Fighter, was it like, is this reality TV shows? Like, was there producers like coming up to you guys going, hey, like maybe you can sort of, you know what I mean? Like, hey, stir up a bit of drama. Maybe just, hey guys, here's a bunch of beers. See where this goes.
That part's true. Now they would never say anything to us, but it was funny. Like if you said something like, hey man, we got no paper towels, they'd be like, you get on the phone, they'd be like, all right, we'll bring it in. And then maybe 10 minutes later it gets in. But if you said we're out of vodka, you can't get the K out in vodka, and then somebody is running it in there. Here's the vodka. You know what I mean? Like they encourage you to do stupid shit, but they don't ever say do stupid shit. You know what I mean? It's not scripted, but it's encouraged. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. It's reality TV. They want to see these guys.
They want drama. They want fights. They want people, doing all kinds of stupid stuff.
Like, how did you find going in there? Because it's like there was no real designated coaches for the UFC comeback. It was kind of like, there's people there got that are giving you guidance, like Randy Couture, George St. Pierre, Mark Lehman, which the infamous scene with Mark Lehman and Matt Serra, which to me, I remember watching it when it happened on TV and just thinking this is the greatest thing in the fucking world. I fell in love with Serra at that point. I was going, this guy is fucking money.
Man, I fell in love with Serra like the first day, dude. Like Matt's such a good dude. He's one of the guys. It's fun. Like here's what I tell people like Matt. A lot of people are like, oh, he's a loudmouth. It's like, no, he's fun. And if you're in a group of like 5 people and one guy's kind of over there being quiet, like Matt's a guy who wants to include him and make him feel comfortable in his head. He'll do anything for anybody. Super good guy. But I remember when that happened, I was just I was like, hell yeah, because he was right, man. I mean, Lehman's in here talking trash about another fighter. I'm like, you don't even fight. Shut the hell up. You don't get the right to talk like that, man. Until you get ready to get in there and do it. And it was one of it was talking about Hoist Gracie, the founder of a lot of what people watch because of, it was just out of line, I think, as a coach. And man, fighters don't talk about other fighters like that, but he's not a real fighter. So shut the hell up, man. Don't talk about it around Matt, that's one of his guys. It's one of his buddies. You don't talk trash about him like that. He's a Enzo guy. So no, I loved it, man. Matt, and that's Matt. He's going to stand up for you at all times. And If he's your friend, he's your friend. He's not gonna let anybody say anything bad. I loved it, man. That was great. But like, it was funny, at different level. Like everybody respect the hell out of St. Pierre, who was a great guy. I mean, I didn't really know him much before that, but man, George is such a nice person. Like you always want good things to happen to him because he's genuine. And Randy, like Randy could have told us, he's like, okay, today we're gonna go swim through that lake with alligators in it. We'd have been like, damn it, all right. You know, people would have done it if Randy asked you to. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
We had good coaches. It was awesome. They gave us some great information, but it wasn't like they were coaching both teams. So they were just giving you advice because I like what they said. Like, you guys have been around for a long time. Some of you guys have more fights than these coaches. We can't have these guys coaching you and telling you what to do when you could be teaching them what to do in many ways. You know what I mean? They were just really high level fighters. So I love the concept. I love everything about it.
Yeah. And, going in from that, you did make the finale for that, facing off against Matt Serra, who did eventually go on to win. And, you guys did have a rematch of that which you were successful in that match. I really found like the Ultimate Fighter finale and that match. And I rewatched it recently the other day. And I'm like, man, this, because I think it was like, it was a split decision, two judges for him, one to you. And I was like, like even watching it, like I watched it the other day and I watched it back straight after, like I watched it back to back, and I'm like, that's a hard fight to call. Like I would hate to be a judge in that. Like, did you, like, looking back at it now, like years later, do you, like, when you sit there and think about the fight, or whether you go back and ever watch it, I don't know, but like, do you feel like that was your fight, that you won that fight, or do you feel like he won it on all aspects?
Back then, I fully thought I won it, back then. And looking back now, I can see, here's the weird thing. I've never seen a fight judged like this because first of all, it was the worst fight I've ever been involved with. It was boring as hell. And there's a reason for it. The winner got like $200,000, a contract to fight for the title, a new car, all this stuff. The loser got 10 grand, nothing. So I was just like, so much pressure was on that. And both me and Matt both had we were both afraid to lose. You weren't fighting to win, you're fighting to not lose. That's both of us. And we've talked about that. And I don't think they should ever put that kind of pressure on people where if you win, you get that much. If you lose, you get basically nothing. It wasn't a good setup. So we both had the same mindset, go in there and don't lose. So he starts pushing me against the fence. And in my mindset, I'm like, my mindset was stop the takedown, you win the fight. He's pushing me against the fence and trying to step on my feet, and I'm like, I'm stopping the takedown. So I'm like hitting him in the side and hitting him in the face. Not hard, but in my mind, what I'm thinking is, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm doing like a 2 damage, not much, but I'm like, but he's doing 0. So I'm like, I'm winning. So every time he pushed me against the fence, I was like, cool, the ref isn't stopping us because I'm hitting him. So I'll just sit here and keep hitting him and win the fight. That was my mindset. I think I ended up taking him down twice. He took me down once. So I was like, all right, this is a very close fight, but I feel like I'm winning. I feel like no matter what, I'm doing the damage he's not. That was my mindset. And you could tell the judges didn't know what to do because 2 of them gave him all 3 rounds and 2 of them, and the one gave me all 3 rounds. So I've seen split decisions, but never that far apart. You know what I mean? That's a weird split decision. And I know why, because nobody knew how the hell to judge that. Are you giving it to the guy who's pressuring the guy against the fence, or are you giving it to the guy who's landing little nothing shots? Looking back, I understand now. I think, if you're pushing a guy against a fence, they're considering that ring control. So, okay. They're saying his ring control was more than my damage because, he had a little bruise on his face and his side was red, but it wasn't much. It was just a horrible fight, and you could flip a coin and say one. Back then, I thought I won. Now I would say, okay, I can see you give it to either guy, really. But to me, that's not I don't even care anymore. The reason I don't was because when I lost, that devastated me, man. I thought I won. I was going to get my title shot. I was going to get my money, all the stuff I worked for. It was going to come true, and then it didn't. It just I was like, I almost wanted to quit fighting. I was like, man, what am I doing this for? I wasted all my time. I didn't get all my money for my kids. I didn't get all this stuff. And then it woke me up at 3 a.m. for a while. And I couldn't get back to bed. It killed me. And then I remember I was like, you know what? I was like, what are you mad about? What are you so upset about, Chris? Is it the money? Or is it you didn't get your title fight, or what is it? And then I was like, man, it's you didn't earn your stuff for your kids, And so I was like, well, they're giving away bonuses now. I was like, you're gonna get that money back from you. I don't care how you do. I don't care if you have to have 100 fights. You're gonna get your kids that money that you owe them. That's how I looked at it. So, I mean, I kind of changed up my style a lot, and I was like, you know what, I mean, I've lost bigger fights than this. I'm just going to go in and fight now. I don't care what happens. I'm going to go out there and try and knock people's heads off. And if I don't knock them out, I'm going to try as hard as I can to submit them. And after I started fighting like that, I think in my next 13 fights, I won 10 bonuses, because I didn't, not that I didn't care, but I just let it fly. I just let it fight. I just fought then and didn't think about wins or losses. I just thought about going out there and trying to fight. And after I did that, I got more fans, I got more money. And so I feel now like if I hadn't had that loss, maybe I don't have that mindset. Maybe I don't, like now I think no matter what you do to me, you can't hold me down. I'm gonna succeed no matter what. That's how I feel because I've done it before. Like I overcame my obstacles and I'm gonna do it again no matter what. So I credit that loss with bringing me to this point. Some losses can destroy people. I think it made me a better person. And without me going through that, I don't know. I just feel like I'm better for dealing with adversity and coming out the other side when some people don't do that. Some people fold and just can't get over it.